Today's mail, the Shamans Oracle, okay, by John Matthews and Will Kinghan, K-I-N-G-H-A-N, so John Matthews and Will Kinghan. Wisdom and guidance from the ancestors. Okay, so I wanted this to go with the primordial tarot. Okay, so just but I feel like it could be a deck that goes with lots of different oracle decks, lots of different tarot decks. So let's begin with the box. Two-piece box, slides out, as you can see, nice and easy. Beautiful box. Journey to the world of the spirit and allow the ancestors to guide you. It's 52 oracle cards, which is quite good, and a practical guidebook which will explain how to read the cards for enhanced self-understanding. So I feel like this is a deck that I'm going to do a little bit of study with as well, as it is split into different aspects, as you can see by the different colours there. So we've got the Junior and the Companion, and then we have the Truth cards, Truth, Love, or Spirit cards, sorry, the Spirit cards there. Then we've got the Ancestors cards. Okay, we've got the Ancestor cards. We've got the Dancer card. Dancer cards. We've got the Hunter cards. And we've got the Shaman cards. So I need to go through and find out what that actually means. So let's have a little look at the Shamans Oracle, Wisdom and Guidance from the Ancestors. Let's have a little look at what the book actually says. I want to look a little bit into it so we can sort of get a little bit of an understanding. Okay, introduction. The world of the ancient shaman. Before spoken language involved, our ancestors communicated through images drawn or carved onto the walls of caves. The transmission of information in this way developed into a rich and widespread art form known as cave art that can still be seen in various locations around the world. The idea that these images were the representation of inner visionary states is something we become aware of when we study the practice of a group of hugely important people, the shamans. Vestiges of shamanic practice remain embedded in many of the world's cultures and religions, and the tradition has undergone a vital renewal over the past 2 decades. Ancient shamanic techniques are now regularly taught and practiced by a growing body of people, enabling many followers of the tradition to reconnect with humankind's most distant ancestors in a far more essential way than archaeology or academic scholarship can provide. Shamans then, as now, underwent trance-like journeys during which they travelled out of ordinary daily reality into a place where they could communicate directly with spirit in its manifest forms, seeking answers to age-old questions as presented to them by individuals or groups. To this day, the role of the shaman continues to encompass guide, mediator, interpreter, listener, and speaker for the realm of spirit. When they undertook out-of-body journeys, the shaman saw or otherwise experienced many remarkable things, which they replicated on the walls of caves as reminders for themselves, or as a spiritual signpost for those who came after them. A vast proportion of the thousands of images painted or incised on rock walls derived directly from the visionary insights of these first shamans. These images, separated from us by so many generations, can still have an impact on us today by offering a degree of guidance to our 21st century selves. This is the inspiration for the Shamans Oracle. What is the Shamans Oracle? The Shamans Oracle is a system of card reading based on 52 pieces of original cave art. It taps into the power of these ancient drawings by using them as a shamanic window into the world of our ancestors, through which we can seek guidance. The images on the cards are new works of art based on accurate renderings of the cave art. The originals were redrawn from photos taken at the sites, repainted, and then placed on specifically prepared rock-based designs with subtle lighting effects added. Thus the Shaman's Oracle presents cave images as our ancestors inscribed them at a time when shamanism was the only known spiritual practice around the world, though slightly enhanced to make them more accessible for users today. The kit provides all the tools you need to safely enter the world of spirit. The deck of 52 cards with which to carry out readings, and this book, which gives full explanations of the cards and how to read them. By learning to use these tools effectively, you can open yourself up to the great wisdom of the ancestors. And it talks about the relevance of the oracle today. It does talk about exploring the caves and how the oracle actually works. And it talks about the cards. It talks about the interactive cards. Two cards, the junior and the companion, act as a direct interface between the seeker and the oracular energies of this deck. The tribes. The rest of the deck divides into 5 distinct groups made up to 10 cards each. These cards, collectively referred to as the tribes, mirror different aspects of human life and experience, and it is from them that the seeker discovers the answer to his or her questions. So as we said, the spirits, which are identified by the symbols of the feathered fan. Okay, ancestors, shamans, hunters, and dancers. Okay. So it talks about understanding the shaman's actual universe, which will be quite interesting, and its connection to the palm, to the hand. To touch the image of the human handprint with your own is to meet with spirits across time. Well, that's interesting. The meaning of the caves. Cave of earth, cave of rivers. Oh, I see. Cave of earth is the tribe of ancestors. Cave of rivers is the tribe of hunters. Cave of pathfires is tribe of dancers. Cave of winds is tribe of shamans. Cave of ice is tribe of spirits. Okay, that's interesting. So it goes into quite a bit of detail about that. So I feel like this is going to be a real study deck. And then it talks about the basic layout. Okay. Oh, it talks about connecting with the deck, framing your question. Then it talks about the basic layout where you have the junior and the companion, and then you have one from each of the suits here. You've got Cave of Ice, Cave of Winds. Okay, so this shows the spread here, and it's laid out. So you've got the journeys here and the companion, and then you've got Cave of Ice, Cave of Winds, Cave of Hearth Fires, Cave of Rivers, and Cave of Earth. So you pull from one each card, from each tribe. Sorry. So you, draw one from there, and that gives you your reading. And then you look for deeper meanings. So that's really the only spread they show you. But I'm sure we could create our own dreams and visions, what the card tells you. So then it goes through and it just gives you a little paragraph for each card. It's not a lot, but I think a lot of it is just to go through and do your own interpretations. I think a lot of it is just your own meditation and reflection. So you get a page per card. As it goes through, and then further work with the oracle as well. Yeah, further work with the oracle and the shaman's vision, whatever that is, going there, making the journey. So yeah, it's quite a bit of reading in there. So let's have a look at the actual cards. Just give me a minute to do this. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards as we begin. Okay, so now go through the next. I think these going to be great reflective cards. Okay, so here's 2 cards. Okay, so let's pull this out and let's lay the cards out in the spread. Okay, let's lay the cards out for the spread. So we're starting with, grab the book. Let's move the box out of the way because I'm going to need the space, I think. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, so we've got Junior and Companion, right? Let's start with this one first. Okay, so laying out the cards. However, it's best to start with the simplest and most straightforward from below your favorite. So you take the hand thing. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not actually, when you actually look at it here, you're not actually choosing one from each suit. That's like the it's the connection. Cave of half, okay. So that's a position. So it doesn't necessarily need to be one of each suit at all. Okay, got you now. So it's just shuffling all the cards together and then you choose 5 cards. Okay, so it's not necessarily within the sphere of influence of each cage according to the images. Okay, got you. So you're not choosing one from each suit. That makes it a little bit more easier to look at. Okay, that makes it a bit more sense. Okay, so that's interesting. So here I was thinking that you had to choose, you had to keep the cards separate, but you don't. You actually have to mix the cards up and then choose 5 cards. Got you. So let's just give me a minute to shuffle the cards. So I'm just shuffling. Okay, so I'm shuffling it. Whoops, I'm just getting a bit clumsy. Sorry, I'm just shuffling the cards and one just dropped on the ground. I might need to bend down and grab it. It's fallen, 1 minute. Right, 5 cards. 1 for each cave. Right. I'll make sure that I do this so it's easy for you guys. Right, so we're going to look at first the Cave of Ice. So cave, let's have a look and see what it talks about the Cave of Ice. So when you're looking at Cave of Ice, right, which is the tribe of scraps, manifestation, cleansing, purification, access to blessings, inspiration, unstoppable forces, inevitable loss and manifestation, mending or stabilizing things. Okay, so let's talk about, say we're talking about, if we're looking at Cave of Ice, right, we're looking at what we can manifest through cleansing and purification. Okay, so let's do that. So this is the Cave of Ice. Okay, so this one here. So that first card is Hunter of Death. Okay, so this to me is definitely about things ending, right? Hunter of Death. Change. Yeah, definitely about changes. Okay, so we're going through transformations. I'm going to manifest some changes going on. The next one we're going to look at is Cave of Winds. Okay, so Cave of Winds is the tribe of Shamans. Okay, this talks about new beginnings. So if we're going to go through and manifest changes and transformation, what are the new beginnings or the unrealized possibilities? I mean, there's lots of things with the Cave of Winds is beginnings, the place of unrealized possibility, transcendence, newness, becoming and youthful abundance, thought, future, transition, change, discovery, and potential. So let's talk about Cave Winds being new beginnings. So what new beginnings am I going to do, right? So here is Ancestor of Skill. So it brings up a new skill. So when the changes and things coming up, feels like there's going to be a new development in my abilities in some way. Okay, Caves of Half Fires, which is tribe dances. Home, so protection and warmth. So what's going to, it does talk about magic and gifts of spirits, song, dance, joy, transformation and change, power and its dangers. Just talk about the present. So it could talk about maybe you know, something to do with protection. Okay, so let's yeah, protection. Talks about Dancer of Inspiration. It's an interesting one to choose. Okay, Dancer of Inspiration. So what inspires me? It's definitely about inspiration, isn't it? Definitely about inspiring, clarity. So when we're talking about the Cave of, so it's talking about being protected by what inspires me. What inspires me is going to protect me. That's interesting. So let us continue. Let's just do another little shuffle here. Okay, so what's next on the agenda? So we're going to look at Cave of Rivers. Okay, I know that I'm sort of quite lengthy in explaining all this, but it just sort of feels like it needs to sort of explain. Cave of Rivers, which is Tribe of Hunters, talks about our emotions. So how are we going to feel emotionally about the situation? It does talk about boundaries and divisions, flow, journeys, time passing, direction, fertility, life, shifts of emphasis. So let's talk about our emotions. So emotionally, how are we dealing with things emotionally, maybe with our boundaries and things going on. So let's have a look and see what comes up for that. Okay, we've got Spirit of Challenge. So it does feel like in regards to that, what I thought was talking about emotional, we're going to have challenges. So maybe emotionally we're going to feel very challenged about the situation. We're going to feel very challenged in regards to our emotions. Our emotions were being challenging. Emotionally, yeah, we might have courage within the situation as well. So the last one here is the Cave of Earth. Okay, Cave of Earth. What does that Cave of Earth was about? Okay, this is a tribe of ancestors, the entrance to the other world, trial and challenges. So what challenges will we have? It's interesting, isn't it? Because here we have this, we know we're going to have challenges. So now we're being asked what challenges will they actually be? It's interesting. And the last card is Hunter of Paths, maybe finding the right path for ourselves. Okay, so now I know how this actually works. It makes it a little bit easier to understand. So even though it does talk about the position for each card, that's connection, it actually works in. So the challenges are in finding the right way, looking towards reaching the goals. That's definitely is a challenge in reaching the goals. So what an interesting spread. Now I know exactly how this actually works. Now I know that there's other ways that this could be used in many ways. But interesting. This is the only spread that they show in the book, but I'm sure I could find other ways to work with this deck as well. Now what actually flew out, actually flew in a distance. So let me just stand up. We've got Dancer of Reconciliation, so there could be a reconnection with somebody. And Abundance. That's an interesting overall aspect. I think that those are quite important. It does talk about a reconciliation. It does feel like there's a reconnection with somebody. It does feel like there's a coming together. And it does bring in a sense of abundance. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe and ring that bell if you want to know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care and bye.